morning. I'm Brendan here with Trevor, filling in for Heather this morning. Trevor, tell our friends what you've been up to the past, I'm not good at math, 12 hours, something like that?
Well, nothing, just working.
Just working?
I worked the evening shift last night, and now here I am on the morning. Got up bright and early, a whopping 2:30.
Yeah.
I got an hour and a half of sleep. So I think I didn't sleep well the night before either. So I think as of now, I woke up at like 5 o'clock in the morning the other night.
Christmas Day?
Yeah.
Oh, my.
So I think we're working with, in the past, what time is it? It is 8:36. In the past 27 hours, we're working with about 1.5 hours of sleep.
Oh, Trevor, oh my gosh.
And I'm working. No caffeine, though.
And he has more energy than I do. Oh, my goodness. And the pillow's right here.
And the pillows, yeah, my pillow's over there.
Yeah. Well, we're glad you're with us, Trevor, and we're glad you're with us wherever you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, X. On this day after Christmas, Trevor, it's not looking like the Christmas season whatsoever.
No, it's not. There's no snow on the ground. I'll tell you what, any snow that we did have on the ground has been long melted by now. So unfortunately, a green Christmas, which I'm curious now that I think about it, I haven't looked into it. When actually was the last time did we get a green Christmas? I have no idea. That could be something worth looking into. But definitely not something that's common. Yeah. Very, very uncommon for us to get a green Christmas. According to the NWS, the guy that I interviewed, Dan Cornish, very lovely fella that works at the NWS in Gaylord. Usually we have anywhere from 5 to 10 inches of snow on the ground for Christmas. And this year we had a whopping zilch.
Yeah. I imagine you were hoping for a white Christmas. You love winter and you're from Texas. Didn't get a whole lot of winter weather down there.
I must admit, to show my bias a little bit, I must admit that I'm extremely disappointed in the weather we've been having the past month and a half. I was really excited when I saw the weather at the end of November when we had 14 inches of snow in one day in Gaylord, and it was like 25 with I think in some areas we were in the single digits in wind chill that day. And I was like, yes, this is what I went up north for. And now it's 58, or it was on Christmas Day in Traverse City with no snow. And I was like, I mean, I could have stayed in Texas and the weather could very well have been the exact same. Yeah. The temperature varies quite a bit there. Although I imagine if we were at 50, I didn't even look into it, but I imagine if we were at 50 in Texas, it was probably a lot warmer than we were. But at any given point during the year, during Christmas, that feels like Texas weather. For us, 58 and no snow is like mid-October. It's beginning to look a lot like October
here in December.
Everywhere you go.
Speaking of that, Trevor, do you mind pulling up the weather quiz? Normally we pull that up and people like to guess on that here on our digital studio.
So
live.
this ties in pretty well with what we've been kind of talking about with the warmer temperatures. This year was quite the year for warm temperatures. How many high temperature records have we broke in Traverse City this year? 6, 8, or 10? Now, the answer is obviously one of those. And from a meteorologist standpoint, or even a climatologist standpoint, looking at that and thinking any one of those numbers is ridiculous, because you're thinking our records go back to well over a century. Breaking any more than a couple of records in one year is pretty unheard of. So the fact that you think, wow, like we could have at least 6 records this year, according to this quiz, that's kind of crazy. It's a record-breaking year in many aspects. But something else that's interesting is we actually broke 0 low-temperature records this year.
Really?
Yes. Okay. We have not broke a low-temperature record since 2020.
And then there was a record that was tied. I don't want to steal your thunder, Trevor, but you were telling me about a tied record yesterday?
Yep. We were very close to having one more high temperature record broken in the year of 2023 just yesterday. The highest temperature ever recorded on Christmas Day in Traverse City was 58 degrees in 1982.
And how warm was it yesterday?
It was, drum roll, 58 degrees in Traverse City.
Yep.
So we tied the record yesterday, but we didn't quite break it. As a matter of fact, I don't think we actually broke record temperatures anywhere yesterday, but we did get very close. Especially, it got cooler the more east you went, but especially anywhere on the West Coast, like us, Frankfort, Manistee, Ludington, Northport, all very, very close to high temperature records yesterday.
Wow.
Like most of us were either tied or just about a degree off of time yesterday, high temperature records. But all of the highest temperature records for Christmas Day were all back in 1982. That's the highest. That's the hottest Christmas ever recorded in northern Michigan history, not just Traverse City.
Toasty, relatively
very toasty.
Speaking,
yes.
Yeah. And that graphic you used behind the weather quiz there, warming us up. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and then I also want to mention this off topic, but Gib is back with us.
Gib,
after being on vacation for a week plus.
Gib so around.
Nice to have Gib is around. Gib, Gim, whatever you want to call him. I imagine, I don't know if he's chimed in yet here on the Facebook Live, but we have people commenting, and we'll go through those comments here in a minute. But Trevor, you want to go through the forecast for today?
So today we're seeing rain showers. Actually, I'm just going to talk about. I'll leave the quiz up. So, especially early on in the morning, we had a pretty decent round of rain come through, but the majority of the heavier stuff is in the process of departing. The eastern upper, the UP, if you will get some more, I guess, steady rain, if you want to call it that, for the next several hours. But once we get past the middle of the afternoon, early afternoon, many of us in the northern lower will start to see less of the major rain and more drizzle today. Still warm, though. We'll break 50s again today.
Oh, so I'm talking to Gib here. He's talking to me. You can take Trevor. That's fine, Gib. This is Trevor's time. There we go. Yeah, there we go.
So yeah, we won't come to close breaking any records today. I'll tell you that. But it'll be another warm day. We'll cap out close to 50 in most areas today. It will be the last of those really warm days, though. As tomorrow, the high temperatures will be more like in the mid to low 40s or even lower than that. So, and that trend will continue throughout the course of the week. Actually, close to New Year's, we're looking close to freezing temperatures, which is it's much more normal for this time of year. We're supposed to be around freezing. I believe the average temperature around this time of year sits right around 34, 35 degrees. So we'll be close to that very shortly. And as for snow, we do have a possibility for snow on Sunday. We're tracking a system. Anything that's more than 4 or 5 days out is always kind of spotty in how we exactly want to say it. If you look at it on like a longer range forecast, it looks like, oh yeah, we're going to get snow. But I say possibly because it's always subject to change. Because just a few days ago, it looked like we were not going to get any snow, and now it looks like we might get some for one day on Sunday. We'll keep tracking that over the course of the week. I'll be back on the PM shift on Friday, so if you want to catch me then, we'll see if we still have snow in the forecast for Sunday, because by Friday, for sure, we will know for sure if we have snow. But in the meantime, rain for the next couple of days. Actually, we might get more steady rain tomorrow, more than we did today. Today is mostly light, steady rain to drizzle. Tomorrow, if the forecast holds, we'll actually get close to downpours in some spots, and we're actually forecasting close to an inch in some areas for rain. And again, that's rain, not snow, which is very abnormal for this time of year. But that'll pretty much do it for the short-term forecast. We're still dealing with some dense fog in some areas too. That should depart once the system fully departs and we actually lower our temperatures from the insanely high temperatures that we've had recently. All of the moisture will get used up, and then we'll be rid of the fog and misty conditions very shortly. And by shortly, I mean the next couple of days. But for the meantime, wet, warm, uncomfortable conditions for late December in northern Michigan, I would say. That's my opinion, of course, but
sure.
I like colder conditions and snow, so I'm not happy about the weather we're having, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah, and a lot of people's livelihoods, especially in northern Michigan, depend on the snow and winter weather and all that. So you're not the only one who's upset, Trevor. Shall we say hi to our friends? You want to go through the comments? By you.
Yeah,
Do
sure.
you want me to go through the comments? People are saying hi and welcoming you. And here. Okay, I want to get at the top of the list here so I don't miss anybody. Christopher, he's normally at the top of the list, Trevor. He's reporting 49 and cloudy in downstate Farmington Hills. Got Susan Lash Sims watching again from Kalkaska, overcast and 47 degrees. It's 66 in Zephyr Hills, Florida, and a good chance for rain. That's what Mark's saying. Wally is also in Florida, North Fort Myers. Cool 60s, as he puts it. Rain, heavy rain last night and all day Christmas Day, rest of the week. Temperature is going to drop. Apparently a cool front's coming in, he said. Hope you had a good Christmas, and say hi to Heather and the rest of the team. Heather will be back tomorrow. Trevor had to work a weird schedule because of just some time off. It's kind of how it works around Christmas time when we had 3 meteorologists on staff. So.
Yep.
Paul is watching from Rogers City. Susie Q is watching as well. Hello. She's in Frederick, 44 degrees. She's hoping everybody had a great Christmas. She did. She went for a brisk walk. She said, so beautiful out. She's off to go swimming. We got Joel watching from the Pleasanton Patriots pub, 51 degrees and rain. He thought he might cut some firewood, but maybe not. Trevor, I'm guessing not.
Maybe not.
Rain is not helping, yeah. And Susie Q, hoping you and Heather had a great Christmas with family. Sure did. Got Jackie watching from Schwartz Creek. She's downstate right now, 50 degrees there. What a beautiful Christmas we had yesterday. Hope everybody got everything they wanted from Santa. If you were on the nice list, I know you're going to spend some time with family later today after your nap, right, Trevor?
That's right.
Yep.
That's right. I'm gonna probably I don't think my mind has fully caught up yet. I think my body is definitely telling me like you need to go sleep. But yeah. It'll probably hit the second I actually get home and realize that my work time is over. I'll probably just I'll be out before I even know it. But yeah, I do plan on going over to a family member's house tonight to celebrate Christmas, which I couldn't do yesterday because I was working. But you know what? It's not about the time. It's just about spending time with family. So
yeah, it's a good way to look at it, Trevor. Got Seth saying good morning from rainy Petoskey. Rosie's watching. Jackie said, but you're looking good, Trevor. And Brendan, you look spiffy today. Jackie's always full of compliments. We appreciate Jackie and all of our friends here. Gail's watching. Hope all had a wonderful Christmas. 47 degrees and rain in Kingsley. Let's see. Jackie asking Christopher, what did Santa bring you? Oh, here's a question for you, Trevor. This is from Eddie. If you were ever to play in the NHL, Trevor, what team would you play for?
Ideally, the Dallas Stars, solely just because that's the team that I grew up with. I grew up in Dallas, or I should say I grew up near Dallas. I just say Dallas because that's where people know where Dallas is. I grew up just north of there, about 35, 40 minutes north of Dallas. And I grew up an avid Dallas Stars fan, and they are my favorite sports team of any sports team in any sport in the entire world. I am a diehard Dallas Stars fan. So if I could play in the NHL and I had to choose a team, it'd be the Dallas Stars so I could just play at home.
There you go, Eddie. I'm guessing that answers your question. No doubt about that.
No doubt. There's absolutely no doubt in my mind.
My mom's watching.
If it couldn't be the Dallas Stars, then maybe the Red Wings, just because I like Michigan. I work here now, and also my mom's side of the family is from Michigan. So I've always been like a secondary Red Wings fan. If they weren't playing the Stars, if they're playing the Stars, all cards on the table, Stars all the way, of course. But I go for the Red Wings when I can.
So Dallas Stars first, Red Wings second.
Yep,
got it. My mom's watching this morning. She's not too far from us, Trevor. She's in good old Traverse City. She said, walking my Benji. Traverse City, her favorite place to be. Hope everybody had a great Christmas. The goal tomorrow is to get her and Benji here for Facebook Live. Trevor, I know you won't be with us here, but Heather will be back. And yeah, my mom's up for a couple days, and I have not as odd of a work schedule as Trevor.
Cameo.
But I'm working for 2 days this week, and so I thought I'll bring my mom up. So it's nice to have some company up north. So. Jackie is saying, Christine, you're in TC. She sure is. Christopher is guessing 8 for the weather quiz. My mom's saying, nice to see Trevor. And she wanted some snow as well. Yeah. Wally's going to guess 8. Joel's guessing 6. Jackie said somehow she lost power. That's not good, but she's guessing 8. Brian is guessing 10. Gibbs saying, hello, I'm back in the director's chair. He sure is. Barking orders in our ear. No, I'm kidding. Susie Q's guessing 8. Gail's guessing 8. And Joel was at his mother's in Onekama yesterday, 61 degrees. Steve is in Tennessee. Snow Friday night down here is what he's saying. Let's see. Christopher remembers living in Bayshore, Michigan, between Charlevoix and Petoskey, where we had no snow going into Christmas, but the day after, the snow came really quick, and it stayed until spring. We got our friend David. Oh, he loves sports, Trevor. I don't know if he's big into hockey, but let's see what he has to say here. He's saying, good morning. It's Dave from Baltimore. We're currently, he's in Traverse City right now. He's not too far from us either.
Welcome.
All the lights and the big tree make downtown look wonderful. Yeah, the city did a really nice job putting that all together.
They do a great job.
There's that tree not directly in the center of the intersection of Front and Cass, but it's really close. Have you driven through there?
I have. I've taken a walk around there a couple of times already. Yeah, preferably when it was cooler, but it was. Yeah, they do a really good job with it. It's a nice site.
There's a manhole specifically designed for the tree, and they put the tree right in that hole, and it's kind of right off center, I guess. People have to drive around it. It's unique. I like it. Anyway, so he's talking about the lights, talking about the tree. Question for you, Trevor. How does the weather look between here and Baltimore later tomorrow afternoon into Friday afternoon? He's thinking there's rain expected in Baltimore tomorrow into Thursday. Sounds like he's doing some traveling, Trevor.
Yeah, so the weather from Baltimore and then in between Baltimore and here.
Yeah.
Let me take a look, see.
Tomorrow afternoon and Friday afternoon.
Let's take a look at current conditions. I'm going to look at radar here. We're going to zoom out. Where's Baltimore? I've been to Baltimore before. Just recently this year, actually, when I went on the honor flight, which was a great deal of fun, by the way.
Oh, that's right. You flew into BWI.
So here's Washington, D.C., right? So Baltimore, there's Baltimore.
Yep, just northeast. Yep.
So they're in the process of about to get rain, looks like. And I guess I don't know the exact path from Baltimore to here. Looks like you'll have to drive through, I guess, the quickest way, you go through Pittsburgh and then maybe up through Detroit. If you leave now, you'd be driving through rain.
So he's in TC going to Baltimore.
Oh, he's in TC going to Baltimore.
Yep.
Oh, then you're probably going to be on the back end of this system, which means you might get some rain in Michigan driving through there. But I'd have to look at the surrounding areas to know for sure. Because I work with Northern Michigan weather, I only really know what's happening in Northern Michigan. Otherwise, I have to, let's see.
Is he going to use the euro? Is he going to use what's another one?
We could use the euro.
The euro. I don't know what your favorite is.
My favorite is the euro because it's the most accurate typically. The GFS, or the goofus as I call it, is wrong most of the time. And then the other model that is absolutely horrible is the NAM, the NAM. I call it the never accurate model because it's never accurate. That model sucks.
Is that the HER? Isn't there a HER model?
The HER is one of my favorites.
Okay.
That is one of my favorite American models. Okay. That model is really good for short-term forecasting, and it works exceptionally well with convection allowing stuff. So when we're talking about like big-term storm events like storms and snow, like big snow events, it usually does a pretty good job of forecasting that stuff. It's like the light sprinkles and showers that it doesn't typically do the greatest with.
Okay.
But we're going to use, I'm on a website now. You can't see what I'm doing because it's not a weather metrics, but I'm looking at the euro right now. See, what are we looking at? The next couple of days, he said, right?
So he wants to know tomorrow afternoon into Friday afternoon from TC to Baltimore.
Tomorrow afternoon into Friday afternoon. Okay, so yeah, the next few days, basically. Yeah, this system is going to keep churning. The system that we're getting right now is an extremely slow-moving system, I will say. It started off the Rockies as low-pressure systems usually do. They usually come off the coast, go right over California, and then go over the Rockies as they build. And usually they move in and out of the area within maybe a few days. But this system built off the Rockies, and it took it a whole 3 days to get here, which is extreme. It is very slow. It is a very slow-moving system. So if you're going to be traveling, I will say that if you're going to be traveling at any point in the next week, like this goes through Thursday, and it's showing rain for the next few days until like late Thursday, basically. Oh no, this is 60, so that would be pretty early Thursday. So if you leave, I will say that if you leave early, like the next couple of days, I would expect you to be driving through rain in some spots. But if you travel like late Thursday into Friday, then maybe not so much. You'll probably avoid any major rain if you travel later rather than earlier. But this system, if you look what you're seeing on the screen right now, that system is going to continue to churn and move very slowly, and it's going to produce more and more rain in the surrounding area for the next several days. Or I say several, but it's more like just a few. Mainly tomorrow and early Thursday as well. We're actually going to get more, as I think I mentioned this earlier, but we're going to get more rain tomorrow, it looks like, from this same system. It won't go away until it does. It will eventually.
Well, I imagine that answers David's question. If you have any more, just let us know. We're on till, well, we try to end 9-ish. We have some recordings to do. Brian would rather have rain than snow. Jackie said, glad you're back. Wally said, save some of that rain for June and July when it's so dry. Christopher talking about a lot of fog on Christmas Eve through Christmas Day in Farmington Hills. Got Kimberly watching from Bay Mills. Thanks for watching, Kimberly. Appreciate that. Christopher talking about his favorite NHL team being the Red Wings with 11 Stanley Cup championships.
Yeah, they got a lot, especially from their Russian era back in like the 90s. I don't even know how many. I don't know offhand how many they have from that era, but they were one of the, like, they were literally the best team in the league for a while, and it seemed like nobody could beat them. And I remember watching back. I mean, I wasn't even alive when this happened, but they beat the Stars out of the playoffs like 3 consecutive years, and I was like, bruh. But the Stars did eventually get their chance, and they won in '99, which they didn't even have to play against the Red Wings that postseason, actually, because they got beat out of the playoffs by the Colorado Avalanche. But yeah, the Red Wings haven't been so good recently, but this year is the best year they've looked in quite some time. I'm pleasantly surprised at how well they've performed this year. I didn't think that they would perform as well as they have. I really like some of the picks they got in the offseason. Jeff Petrie, kind of an okay pick, but I like Shane Gostisbehere, the Shane Goss. I like the active forward defenseman. Like, I love defensemen that get active in the offensive play and really try to make moves down low. My favorite defenseman, whoever did that, was Trevor Daley, longtime Dallas Stars player, and he was literally my favorite, like, active defenseman. And Shane Gostisbehere is just like him. So I like him on the Red Wings, but they've performed really well this year. I'm curious if he has any thoughts on how far he thinks the Red Wings will go. I certainly think they'll make the playoffs this year.
I have nothing to add, Trevor. All that sounds great to me. I'm just impressed people can stand up on skates. I need to hold on to the wall on the skating rink. So I'm just impressed by how quickly they can move. It's my contribution.
I absolutely love skating. I love all things hockey. I could talk about hockey for, it's not an exaggeration that I could talk about hockey for literally hours if you did not stop me. I could just keep going.
We have some recordings to do eventually, and you need a nap here soon.
That's true,
Trevor. So we'll keep reading our friends' comments here. Susie Q telling my mom, hoping she has a great time in TC. Joel saying worked at Crystal Mountain, looks like in 82, no snow anywhere, but at the resort all winter. Kathy welcoming Gib back. Hope you had a great vacation. Susie Q saying, Trevor, you're a good singer.
Am I?
That's what she says.
Wait, when did I sing? Oh,
October. It's
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. Christopher saying the Red Wings with the Russian 5 for 97, 98, 2002, 2008 with Stanley Cup. David, did either of you see, I can tell you right now, no, because it's sports. Did either of you see the Ravens win last night over the 49ers?
I did. I watched the whole game. And I will say that I am – okay, first, just a little disclaimer.
Yeah.
I'm kind of into the 49ers a little bit because I'm biased towards Brock Purdy because Brock Purdy went to the exact same college that I did, Iowa State University, and we were in college at the same time. Like, he graduated a year before I did. Huge Brock Purdy fan. Really glad to see that he's making it so far in the NFL after being Mr. Irrelevant. And I will say that watching them get their butts kicked last night was not fun. The Ravens walked into their stadium and then ran them out of their own stadium. That game was, despite the score, that game was not close. The Ravens won that one by a long shot, which proves what I was saying to Harrison earlier in the week, that I think the Ravens are the biggest sleeper Super Bowl contender team that nobody's talking about. Everybody's like, oh, it looks like the 49ers are the best team, or the Eagles, or the Chiefs. And I'm just like, is nobody going to talk about the Ravens? Like, that, in my opinion, is the team that's going to win, is the Ravens. They are extremely good. And if they can beat the 49ers handedly in their own stadium, then, I mean, on their best game, I don't think anybody can beat them, if I'm being honest. So I think they're going to win it. I think the Ravens are going to win it this year, based off of just how their season's gone and how they just absolutely annihilated the 49ers last night.
You heard it here, December 26th. David saying the Ravens won 33-19 in a battle of two good teams. The Ravens defense caused 49ers to turn the ball over 5 times. And David is thanking you, Trevor, for the travel update between here and Baltimore. And Wally trying to, I guess he's saying, look at how good the Detroit Lions are doing this year. Yeah, a lot of people paying attention to the Lions.
That is the story, isn't it? I had no idea that it had been that long. I know they have like one of the biggest like droughts in sports history, where it's been like, I don't know because I haven't looked into it, but it's something like 17 some years since they've even won a playoff game. But to think that it's been 3 whole decades since they've won the division is actually that's a long time.
And I shouldn't even open my mouth because I don't know. It was a lead story in the news in Detroit since I was down there over the weekend with them winning the game. But it's been 30 years since they won. Maybe Gib can help me. Won a 93. They won the North Division. Thank you, Gib, for that. I knew it had been decades.
It's been a long time since the Lions have been this good. They've been so many years of nothing, but they look really good this year.
Yeah. All right, we all caught up in comments. A little past 9 o'clock here on a Tuesday. Heather will be back tomorrow. Trevor's going to get some sleep. And appreciate you joining us this morning, Trevor. It's been fun.
Should we get the answer before we go?
Oh my gosh, yeah. Here I'm getting ahead of ourselves here. Yes, please. Yeah.
Real quick. So for all those who said 8, you would be correct. We broke 8 temperature records this year. I know the year's not over yet, but I think based on the short-term forecast, I think it's safe to say that we're not going to break any more. Just because it doesn't look like we'll be anywhere close to 50s by the end of the year. So we broke 8 high temperature records this year in Traverse City. And again, we have not broke a low temperature record in several years. So it's been one of the warmest years in Traverse City history.
A couple more comments, sports related, before we say bye. Wally said it's been since 1957 when I'm guessing the Lions were at the Super Bowl, but it wasn't even called the Super Bowl. It was just called the Big Game because there were 16 teams
it was
in
so
the league.
Long ago.
Christopher saying, yes, 30 years for the Lions playoff game. Susie Q, 1 for 1 on this Tuesday. And also Christopher, 1 for 1. We'll see if they can keep it up as we get into tomorrow. And then Thursday and Friday, I'm checking with Heather, see if she wants to do the digital studio on Thursday and Friday. I won't be here, but Heather will be. So anyway, we'll say bye for now. Thanks for joining us. Gib, any last words? He goes, good.
Good.
So we're good. Have a great day.